Hi, Team Flyer. How are you? Welcome again to Motivational Mondays. I'm so excited today for today's quote and to listen to every single of your comments about this quote and so much more goodies. So before we continue, of course, I want to have here my lovely Cassey. Hi.
Hello, how's it going over there in the East Coast?
Doing really, really well.
That's so good to hear.
I know it's incredible that we're 6 hours apart officially, at least for a little
I
bit.
know. Right now I'm in Hawaii in self-quarantine, so it's only day 4, a little bit of drama going on being stuck in this hotel room, but other than that, all is well because there's at least still sun here.
Exactly. Can you tell why you're self-quarantined or why you're in Hawaii, not for holidays specifically?
No, yes,
No.
I am over here for work. I am unemployed, but I occasionally take a few jobs here and there with the U.S. Navy Reserves. And I'm going to be working at one of the commands that I actually was working at before I got off of active duty, just until the end of September. So I flew out here 4 days ago, and I'm doing the 2-week quarantine before I can start working at the command. So that's why I'm here right now, just
Exactly.
for extra cash going into December. Christmas presents.
Exactly. Think about all those Christmas presents at least. Oh, goodness. And for those who haven't heard so far, we've done many Motivational Mondays, of course, by now. And also, we also have your story for Go to Fly. So I always remind you all because it's so important. And you speak about what you've done and what you do. And I just always like give you all the props and all the cheers of like, go listen to her story. It's so good. It's so inspiring.
And
My
we should
God.
give shout outs to Tom too,
Yes, yes.
which is how we met. Yeah, so it's such a weird life, I think, just being able to be in this presence, speaking with you, and being a part of your community. So thank you very much for that.
You're welcome, and we're happy to have you on board. Goodness gracious, we get like really good comments over Motivational Mondays. So of course we're going to continue. Obviously so. So now definitely without further ado, let's hear today's quote. So today's quote is, real beauty is not about symmetry or weight or makeup. It's about looking life right in the face and seeing all its magnificence reflected in your own. And it's a quote by Valerie Monroe.
I actually found this quote. I was doing going through and like looking at different options, and I saw this on Goodreads, I believe, a while back, and I had bookmarked it when I saw it because I was like, this quote just really sums up maybe what I've been trying to exude my whole life. I definitely apply it to the traveling world because it's so true. When you happiness on people's faces and their cultures and how they interact, it really does show you the beauty of the world. And I do believe that. Like, I feel like it's not about what you look like, it's about how you're enjoying your life and embracing your cultures. And that's kind of how I look at this quote from like an abstract standpoint. What do you think, Ariadna?
I completely agree. I feel like we can go so deep in this quote because it's all about comparison, but not really. It's all about knowing your beauty and knowing that it's definitely like the quote says, not measured by height or weight or makeup or your skin color or your hair color. It's like it's measured within who you are and yourself. And much like you've also traveled, so I like the fact that you brought that into like the conversation as well, because when you travel, you see different people from all around the world, obviously, but you see the beauty of all the people from all around the world, and you see how different and yet like outstanding and glowing they are as human beings. So it just goes to show you that like everybody's a beach body and everybody is literally beautiful and like very, very I don't know, like I want to say magical in its own way, if that's not cheesy, I guess to say. Or
Definitely
so.
not. No. It's true. That is a true statement only because where we always have to start, and I'm sure you've discussed this over and over again, is that we have to start with acceptance of ourselves before we can accept other people. Because if we have our own insecurities, that can definitely get in the way of relationships, of interactions, of, you know, if we see other people and we are jealous of that, it just is so hard. So I think you only get one life, so you really have to accept what you've been given before you can go out and be positive in the world. When I did start my trip to South America, I was still wearing makeup every day. I didn't really have an intention to quit wearing makeup, not because I mean, I do wear very minimal makeup. It was like just the bare minerals, actually. But whenever I started on the journey, I was just like, a lot of van lifers would always get to this point where they were like, oh, I'm not wearing makeup anymore. And I was like, well, I mean, I just think I need that to get through the day. And it's never been more clear to me after about a month, like after I got into Mexico, how irrelevant it was to need to do that every morning. And I actually, through the journey of being in South America, continuing south, I would look at myself in the mirror and never feel more happy with my face. And I wasn't wearing makeup. And previously, I would have never walked outside the house without putting on at least some cover up or something, you know, because everyone got a little something on their chin, for me at least. And it was a very eye-opening experience. And since then, I basically don't wear makeup. I mean, I don't have a job yet, but I don't get up every day and need makeup to go outside and face the world.
I adore that story so much. Something so empowering about just being yourself and literally without makeup. Like, I'm the biggest advocate, I feel like, because I get it all the time. And my journey started years ago, thankfully. I feel like in my mid-20s, I was still wearing makeup. Not a lot of makeup. I've never really worn a lot. I mean, you can see some of like back then pictures that I like had like really colorful eyeshadows and stuff like that, of course. But overall, on a daily basis, it was like the eyeliner, and that's pretty much it. I could never go anywhere without my eyeliner. I remember that much. But it was like mid-20s, and I was discovering myself and who I wanted to be. And I was so tired of makeup because it's like, I'm just not that kind of person anyway. I'm not like, I have healthy hair because I take care of it. People are like, oh my God, what do you do? And I'm like, I don't know. I just take care. Like, there's nothing else I much to do. The same goes for makeup. The same goes for my clothes. And not that I don't care about myself by any means, but just that's not a part of who I am. And then I kind of flipped the switch kind of overnight. What it feels like looking back, it was probably obviously gradually, little by little. I loved walking around the big city. That's when I moved to Barcelona, that moment of my life. And without any makeup, with my sneakers on everywhere I go, workout clothes everywhere I go, because I was like super active and like just I wanted to experience the city without having to think of like, oh, my dress and oh my, you know what I mean? Like just like literally go from through all the different streets. And I feel like that was very an empowering moment for me probably. And then fast forward like what 7 years later basically, um all my stories I think they're mainly without makeup. A lot of my pictures are mainly without makeup or filters because I'm like, just show up the way you are. I adore people like, oh goodness, I have to remember their names right now, like Christy. I'll tag them down below. I'll tag all these body positive women down below without a doubt, because they're like, they embrace who they are and they show up no matter how big or small or like whatever their size is. It's kind of the same reflection for me. So I definitely love how you're like, no, like I don't need it anymore. Like I can show up and just be myself. And for last, I remembered as well, we had an interview with Natalie Kelly, which I adore this woman so much. We talk on a constant basis and she just gives us so much love and light. And her thing, she's also 35, I want to say, and she's like, I don't want to have any surgery done. I want to be like an advocate of like when people look up to us as actors or as activists or whatever, like I'm as real can get. And you can see that and it shows. And even though she like shares her struggles through like our podcast interview, for Latina, by the way, for anyone who's interested in Natalie Kelly, beautiful human being. But then also like through her feed, she says it a whole lot. So it goes to show you that, you know, we just need more natural faces out there because it's time.
When I go out, when I was traveling around Europe, I saw so many beautiful women. I mean, everywhere, especially in the Nordic countries, in Finland. And whenever I see people that are so beautiful, I just want to lift them up too, because there's actually room for so many people. Like, you don't have to just find the one person and be like, oh, it's the most beautiful person in the room. It's actually that they're everybody's beautiful, and in different ways, and it doesn't have to be just based on how they look. It can be personality, it can be because, and it's, I think that's true, because you can have some of the most beautiful people, and some people I have met that are still so insecure, and it inhibits them from being able to make their own relationships. And so I guess it's that balance of great personality and just getting out there and being in the world, especially because when I kind of like look at myself and I give myself some negative talk, which happens. I think it happens for everyone for many reasons. And even when you do live in a body positive space, there's still room for negativity, unfortunately. I just realized in those moments that I look at other people, and sometimes they're bigger than me, smaller than me, but I don't give them any of that negativity that I'm giving myself. So I think there's a moment where I was just like, I need to make sure that I treat myself the way I treat other people that I meet that are strangers. And it's just not necessary. And it is hard. And sometimes you just can't help yourself. But I try to only give that space a very small amount of time, and then I try to move on and let that go, because it's just not necessary for my life. And that's how I try to approach it.
I really adore that as well, because it's like the typical quote, talking about quotes, is would you tell your best friend the same things you tell yourself when, they're feeling down by themselves about the way they feel, or the way they're feeling about themselves physically in this particular case? And the answer is going to be no, obviously. So it's like, why would you treat yourself any differently? You have to like treat your body with respect, with loyalty, with love, because it carries you through so much. And the fact that we're finally normalizing that every body, as in like every space body, and everybody, of course, is one word, but literally every body that we have is beautiful and it's worthy of love. And they're different. We're different. It's like we've talked about this, I think, in even previous Motivational Mondays. I feel like just because you see someone who's a little bit more plus size doesn't necessarily mean that they're unhealthy. It's just like we all have different things. I'm a very open with my hypothyroidism. I know many people who are the same, basically. And I've talked about this even with our Go to Fly specials. We have a couple episodes with Brianna Salas and Melissa about eating disorders. And both of them said the same thing, as like, even with that, there's no ideal body for that. Just because you can't see their bones doesn't mean like they're going through stuff. So literally there's such a big array of bodies that are so different and wide and magical at the same time, that we really have to start normalizing them, without a doubt, especially without makeup as well. Like I love this quote because of that. It has nothing to do with what we look on the outside, because beauty fades. It's a matter of what it's on the inside, because that's, at the end of the day, that's who you're going to hang out with. That's the person that you want to be. That's the person you should be proud of. That's who you really are.
And to add to that, exactly, is I think I brought this up in one of the other episodes, if it was the Go Do Fly story or another Motivational Monday, but I really like to hike, and I was able to go on a couple of different hikes, and really push my body to what I believe to be kind of extreme limits of how much I could do in one day, and facing a lot of exhaustion. And I realized in some of those moments that if I could get to the top and my body provided me the capacity to do all the things that I'm trying to do, why am I treating it badly? If I could climb to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro and stand at the top and get all like halfway back down in the same day, even when my whole body was ready to just fall over in exhaustion, why am I treating it badly? And this is another sense. Whenever I was getting out of the military, I actually went onto LinkedIn, and I was going through a veteran transition course, I guess you could say, on LinkedIn, the premium, and there was a information with Florent Goldberg, and he was a Medal of Honor recipient who's helping people. And during the war, he um, sustained some injuries to his body, and one of those things was, I think he was having trouble where he couldn't walk on one of his legs. And so even the most fit people lose the ability to do things with their body, even whenever they are fit, even whenever they are out there doing all the things that they need to be doing in their lives. And it's such an honor to be able to sit down and recognize that I have all of my limbs. I have, a functioning brain. I don't have any tumors or cancer, and it could come at any time. But I think that's why you have to love what you're given right now, because things could change, and then maybe you would be in a wheelchair, and now you have to deal with that. And before, you were upset and your body was able to carry you wherever you were going to go. So it's as simple as that. Just look at yourself today and realize what you've been given, and really own it. And don't try to stop all those negative comments, those insecurities. Move past it. Look at yourself in the mirror and accept everything that you are, and get out there right now. It's time.
It's time. I love like that little mini wrap up, because as you all know, Motivational Mondays are really short and sweet. And I love like finishing the episode a little bit with that as well, because it's like, remember how blessed you are. This is the body that carries you. Like, appreciate every single inch of who you are, because you are absolutely beautiful. Remember, it's the inside that counts. And the moment you love yourself on the inside, your outside, it shows. Like, it shows on the outside. It glows. It really, really glows. Um, and I love like what you said, start now, start today. I'll definitely like tag all these beautiful people that I know I follow that have inspired me a whole lot. And I feel like not only you listening to us, of course, talking about something as not even simple, because it's definitely not simple, but this quote for 20 minutes of your day, but it's also like surrounding yourself with that kind of positive attitude and people, and just like those kind of feeds, without a doubt. I'm gonna we do have one more thing to say. I'm sorry, I think I cut you off.
Well, and I was just going to add with the quote, because it's about looking life right in the face and seeing all its magnificence reflected in your own. That's, I think, what I embrace every day. Mm-hmm. I try to have clear eyes. I try to make sure that, all the things that I've experienced, I want that to show, because it's been such a long journey. And I just really actually love this quote, because it's exactly what I strive to do. And when I chose to go on these journeys, I want to be able to look at myself and know it's full well traveled. So that's what I really love about this quote.
Same. I really, really appreciate that a lot. Your feedback on this, of course, and knowing that like we're able to, with this quote, like live our best lives. I was going to repeat it once more for our audience, as always, which is once more, real beauty is not about symmetry or weight or makeup. It is about looking life right in the face and seeing all its magnificence reflected in your own. By Valerie Monroe. We really, really do appreciate this quote. I'm so happy you found this one, because it's like that's that power within. It's that encouragement we need, and like to live the life that we deserve and we want, and to love ourselves. So
yes, and please comment on this. Tell us a little bit about something you've been through, and something that has made you decide to be body positive and go through life without facing your insecurities. We want to know, because maybe it can help someone else. Maybe someone else could apply something you've done to their lives, and it could help them. And that's really what we're trying to do here. So please, if you have any comments, make sure to leave a comment on this, on the blog or on Instagram.
Definitely. Oh, I totally agree. So thank you very much for listening and tuning in. We can't wait to hear more from you all. Thank you so much for the beautiful love you always give us. And have a beautiful week. Have a beautiful day. And just love yourselves inside and out. Bye, Flyers. See you soon.
Peace out.